Hey everybody, you're watching The Sit Down. I'm DJ Sixsmith. Esther Povitsky is here with us. Hot for my name, her new Comedy Central special. Esther, what's up? How are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Very good. How long did it take to come up with that name for the special?
So that has been one of my older bits, talking about my name, Esther Povitsky, and it, gets to the punchline that I'm hot for my name. And then it was actually my fiance who was like, that should be the name of the special. And as soon as he said that, I'm like, wait, yeah. Because I had so many names that I have my lip gloss in my hand. I had so many names. But that one just felt like self-deprecating, but also a little bit of confidence. It just felt like it kind of embodied who I am. Yeah, I don't know. I'm curious, when you hear that title, what do you?
Well, first of all, I think it hits home in terms of your style of comedy, and it's going to be a name that people remember too. So I think with a special, like that's a big part of it as well.
Yay, thank you. I know. I'm obsessed with it. Look, I have like tie-dye shirts
Nice.
made. This is when stand-up comedians, we can't do stand-up anymore, so I'm just becoming like a tie-dye entrepreneur. I have nothing else to do.
When was your last show before everything shut down?
I had a big show in February for a comedy festival in Vancouver, and that was late February. And then right when I got back, it kind of felt like, okay, things are getting a little weird, and I didn't do any local. We did one more local LA performance, and in a Comedy Store parking lot. I was there with Whitney Cummings and Bobby Lee, and they were both yelling at me. They're like, "You're not going to get the coronavirus. You're not special." They were like telling me I was crazy for being afraid, which should help me not be afraid. So kudos to them.
So you mentioned the fact that this special is kind of a culmination of stuff you've done in the past, stuff you worked out recently. What was it like putting the whole special together, and just describe some of the different challenges you went through with it?
Well, it was a different experience to actually put in serious effort into my stand-up, because previously I'd been really lackadaisical with it. My relationship with it was kind of more stroll on stage. How do you feel that day? And, maybe you run by a couple new bits, maybe you do some old ones, and having to have this end goal in mind of a filmed, like expensive comedy special where like a network is spending a lot of money to make this happen. There was a certain amount of pressure, and that I think it really did change my relationship with the art form forever, where now I know what it's like to really take it seriously. It's not just a hobby. This is how you do it when it's a job, when it's your job now.
Yeah, you can't just stroll up there for a special and be like, all right, let's just wing it and see what happens, right? Can you imagine?
By the way, though, that is a total like nightmare that I've had, where it's like it's the same thing as the famous like you didn't study for the test nightmare. It's like, okay, time to shoot your special, and you're like, I didn't prepare. Like I had too many of those scares that the pressure is really what makes you work. The fear, the embarrassment.
Here's a big driver, and also especially with comedy, it's like, will this be funny? Will it make people laugh? Because you could be workshopping something, a couple people think it's funny, and then it doesn't necessarily hit. But did you do like 2 shoots with this thing? Like, did you kind of figure out what worked and what didn't for the special?
Well, so prior to the special, I did like a pretty big tour. So I ran the set as much as I possibly could and used that more as the testing ground. And then when we taped it, by the time you're taping it, it's kind of like, it is what it is. You've tested it so much. But in terms of going out there and having certain material not land, that doesn't really scare me. I think what scares me is feeling unprepared, but jokes don't work. That's par for the course. Like, you have to be prepared that not everything you say will be funny, or you'll just get your heart broken like too many times. So for me, when jokes bomb, that's sort of, I think, what separates someone who's new to someone who's a pro, is like a pro can handle things not going well and keep going. So that was definitely a skill that I learned early on, that I say a lot of things that aren't funny.
You just got to roll with it. Some jokes are going to hit, others won't. And it seems like you really understand that. You understand your comedic tone, and you also understand that using people in your life is important to your comedy. So why don't we talk about your parents, because you have a very unique relationship with them. They're a part of this special. They're a part of your comedy. What's it been like for them to see you grow over the years?
they've been very shocked. My dad loves to talk about how he saw me perform in a bowling alley and it was a comedy contest, and how, you know, I lost the comedy contest in the bowling alley, and they talk a lot about how it was very bad. And they also talk though about the first show. They both have a very distinct memory of the first time they saw me perform where they thought I was funny. And the way they talk about it is funny in itself. They're like, "You actually made us laugh. It was funny. We looked at each other. We couldn't believe it." They talk about it like it's the first time they've seen electricity. Like it just, they can't wrap their head around it. Which oddly enough, in this weird cycle that emotional cycle that I'm in with them, it does make me feel really good when they do finally think I'm good at something. It's very rare. You know, I grew up with overhearing them talk about how bad they feel for me that I'm auditioning for the musical, and it's going to be really sad when I learn I can't sing. So they're just, they're realistic. I don't know what they are.